has its merits in certain things, but I think when it comes,
Yeah.
if these things are interdimensional beings,
Yeah.
how would empirical evidence
So
work? You know what I mean?
it doesn't.
Welcome back to the Jupiter Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Franklin, and today we have back on, once again, good friend of mine, Mr. Zubrickas, and we're going to go and continue on with his journey, with his story, and see where it takes us. He already started telling me, and he thought that we were recording, but it's all good. If you keep finding yourself coming back to the show, you keep finding yourself coming back to the Jupiter Podcast, please do me a favor, like and subscribe, leave a thumbs up, hit the bell notifications, all those good things. You can download it in MP3 format. Go over there to Spotify, whatever. Leave me a nice response, or what do they call that, a review. You can review the channel, helps me bump my numbers up. You can also find me over on Rumble. I have, I think, 58 followers or 48 followers, one of the two. You can go over there and follow me as well as a backup plan, just in case YouTube wants to bump me off. If you're into merchandise, you can go ahead into the bottom there, click on the merchandise link, and go and get yourself a t-shirt, a hat, mug, poster, things of that nature. So all the housekeeping out of the way, please, once again, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Zubrickas.
Hi, Tom. Welcome. Hello from the beautiful, beautiful highlands of beautiful British Columbia, supernatural British Columbia, where everything strange happens. Sometimes.
Greetings from the hot southern Mexico area of the Yucatan Peninsula. I was on the roof, and I am now a lobster today. Putting up some salt. And it's good to see you, man. I hope you had a good New Year's. I hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you had a good time with your family.
Yeah. Yes, I did, and I hope you did too. Actually, it was meaningful, and it was good that way. So, yeah, I'm good to go. And I wish I were there right now, on the beach, looking at nothing.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I was in the colder environment, because people go, "Oh, I love it when it's nice and warm." I'm like, yeah, you don't understand. It gets hot down this joker, especially if you have to work construction. So,
sure,
same old. So
we get a great climate here. It's temperate, right? And right now it's above zero, so it's mild. The snow's melting already, and bringing spring.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome in spring. You're probably some things are happening around this time of year. You can probably see well into the forest, I'd imagine. A little bit better. I know you're around a bunch of spruce and pine.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's also better.
It's better walking.
Yeah. For the people who are uninitiated, new to the channel, could you tell people like a short synopsis of who you are and why you're on the show today?
Why am I here? I had an experience about 5 years ago that started where I simply put, I was attacked by a bear. Long story. I was afraid. I went into PTSD for a couple of years, and simply put, the Sasquatch, I didn't know that until a few years later, that they were leading me up the mountain until I crested this mountain, and I had got over my fear of the bear attack, and on it went. I followed their signs up the mountain, and now I'm friends with them years later. Yeah, that's it.
So when you were last here, we kind of started with the piles of rocks strategically placed around your property. They started doing some weird things with the concrete holes or something of that nature.
Yeah.
And they started leading you somewhere. Maybe we can pick up from there.
Sure. There were impressions along with the Sasquatch first started. They put their footprint right in the front entryway in the garden on one of the bushes. They stomped it down and left their mark and dropped down a stone. And then and every day they started. Well, pretty much every day it was summer, and they started dropping large stones. The property was really large and in a V shape on a corner lot, right? And they placed these stones around the perimeter daily. There was a new stone. They were about 5 pound stones, and until they were finished, right down to around the house. Okay, another thing started happening. There were the neighbor's driveway started receiving all these like holes, drill holes, and like and blemishes and cracks, and onto the sidewalk it went. The stones that they were laying down like these designs with pebbles. I don't know, it was a phenomenon. Like I was just watching this happen daily, and I thought it was like losing it a little bit because I'm following the stones and recording. There were new stones, like these are pebbles, gravel pebbles. Sidewalks were pure, pristine. This is a new neighborhood, right? To the tarmacs, the driveways, everything's clean, right? Everything, including the house, was new because I helped build it. So, I knew, right? I knew every inch of concrete and the whole property. So this started happening, and on down the street it went. The next door neighbors, all of a sudden, like there were tracks that I noticed, like skid tracks, like some a vehicle, like say a vehicle colliding and getting into an accident on the road, like scrapes, right? Some of them were rust brown and long, like some of them were white, and then there were more designs. And then they also bordered with tiny pebbles every access to any kind of greenery like this. So these houses were spaced out, and there'd be a lot empty, and it'd go up the mountain, right? So and where that green space is, I noticed that they had tiny pebbles, and they put fences around all the way down the sidewalk. Okay, and I'm watching all this, so
And,
I take
and,
pictures of it.
and your neighbors noticed this, and they started asking you
No,
questions as if you knew something.
no, they did not. I was alone filming this, and I had to kind of be discreet because I'm walking down that street shooting this stuff, right? And there's people at home, and I played it like I was doing some, work for the government agent, like I'm in work or whatever,
Junk food.
texting, like walk around with my notepad, right, and then taking all the info down. So, but I didn't introduce it to them. Anybody in my area, like if there were a structure or something, I'd ask some of the walkers, and they didn't have a clue. They said, I've seen something weird happen here, but they didn't know what it was. So they didn't care. Now at the time, the neighbor next door, her husband died, so she was doing her funeral thing, and the family was over, and so she's not looking down at anything. But her driveway was totally getting destroyed. I have a film of that if you want to see, and it went right to the side entrance where I walk. All this stuff stopped when it hit our house. Our
Wow.
house was not affected. Okay, so I thought they're protecting me or something. They're building a fort, a barrier, to keep you safe, right? So because there were gifts coming in like that. So on they're slowly down the roads. There were fissures happening, like actual cracks. The sidewalks were cracking. Across the roadways, they were cracking. And then there's this, and you know what? There was a TikTok episode. I saw this in another country. The same thing that was happening. It was a phenomenon to somebody else. I think it was in Argentina or something on the roadways there up on, and they noticed. And there's this little tire. Like what they did was make it look like construction crews were coming in there and putting a roll of tar over these cracks, right? They
Uh-huh.
first start with a black line of tar. There are no workers everywhere. I know, it's a small town. It's quiet. I know all the city workers, right? These things started happening, and then fissures started forming around the cracks. Okay, on top of the cracks and through all the way down the road. So I'm
Okay.
following signs down there, and I walked. And did anybody talk about it or notice? No, right? I'm
Uh-huh.
alone, and that's where I'm alone doing this, and because I noticed it, I'm just observing stuff, like and it's like, what happened here? Because the street sweepers come up and down the road, and they're pristine. I told you, it is spring, summer goes on. The roadways, there's no pebbles, there's nothing, right? It's a clean street. Okay, and it started cracking all the way down, and it was down. It happened down to where I would walk. They do it in front of me. They leave drawings, right, of entity type things, and that's where through time I figured out that there's one that bores holes through the concrete. They actually left their names in the concrete one day. They signed it. I had those names. This is all I recorded. All this. I think I took 2,000 images of all this stuff through the years, right? And they led me down to, and lo and behold, they led me, pointed the way down to Starbucks, and in behind Starbucks, they started a mural. They gifted me a ton of stuff there. They also have gifted me brand new walking sticks. They're encouraging me to climb. Yeah, they leave them behind. They left those behind 3 times, and I have a new one today. I lose one, they give me a brand new one with with still the pricing on it, right? I don't know where they got this stuff, encouraging me to go back up the mountain, right? And to
Okay.
go through them, right? Stuff like this was happening. Money was left, stones, watches, women's watches, men's watches, drawings. Yeah, I have all these, recorded. So if you want to look
And
back
they're
at
just like they're just gifting you things because they're interested in you because you're interested in them.
exactly. So more
Okay.
and more, yeah, exactly, and that's a really good point because through time, I noticed that, and today, and to the experience I had 2 days ago, is this all building up to now what is happening in our Earth changes, right, and the shift and the consciousness shift. Okay, and now I'm cluing in finally because these are little facts that happen to this point in time. For instance, and I think it has a lot to do with me drawing that in. Right? And I
Okay.
didn't know it at the time. I think it is a lot to do with that. It's like the people that look at UFOs, for a long time, and they can see them and then they can say hi to them, right, up in the sky, and they respond, right? I don't know if you're aware that some people do that.
Oh
Now
yeah,
they,
yeah, yeah. Very
they talk to
dangerous
them.
stuff. Very dangerous
Yeah,
stuff. I would never do that. You're
but
talking
I
about
did. I did.
CE5.
I did do that.
You're talking
I
about
did it two
CE5,
days
right?
ago. Yeah, I did it 2 days
Yeah.
ago in the night. In the night
No,
to
I'm good. I'm
yeah.
good. They like to show up and then they don't. Then they stay around, and I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I
So
don't need that.
yeah, you don't want any of that stuff. But you know what? It's not, vindictive or, it's not, concern. It's not a cause for concern. This is just spiritual stuff. And now that, like it's stuff that's happening. But you know what? There are things that I've been shown that are really just distasteful. And I know that they're in my consciousness, like either religious, scenes that they've given me, and or what they're imaging on my phone. Some of it is bothersome to me,
They're
to
giving
this
you.
day.
They're sending you religious iconography.
Oh yeah, they're like all the time. There's a Christian cross that was in. They were putting down big rocks in forms like that, like Celtic crosses, all where I'm walking, and then crosses out of straw where the springs are, where I go to up in the mountains. It's like
Have you
it's like
seen them?
holy. Pardon
Have
me?
you seen them? Have you seen them actually doing any of this? Like these
Who?
leaving
Who? Who?
the full.
The Sasquatch?
Yeah.
No, no. I've seen 3. Okay, I've witnessed 3, and they were bizarre. But I also had an agreement with them, like I said before in the show, that when I first met them, that I was too fearful and I wasn't ready to witness them. I
Okay.
said I think I go into shock because they've done things around me that blow your mind and they have an effect on you, like big rocks and logs. You're walking down the trail, all of a sudden there's a huge rock that they didn't put their hand on it, like moments later, right? And you feel that vibration of how big they and powerful and super powered they are, right? Like, it's
Okay.
like, no, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to see them, frankly. I think it would disturb me, right? And I go into shock. So I asked them, and they adhere to this, but they have slipped up a few times. Where these now I'm ready to see them, but they're still not. They're coming to the window now. The large ones, yeah, they're looking in. I have shots, and now I'm getting acclimatized to it. It's no
Okay.
biggie for me anymore. It's not a big deal
Yeah,
anymore.
I
Okay,
understand that.
but
Like,
then, okay,
this is
yeah,
a very run-of-the-mill question, but I'm
yeah,
going to ask. I don't think I've asked it yet, and it might sound silly. You might have already explained it, but I'm going to ask anyway.
sure.
What are they?
What are what Sasquatch?
What are the Sasquatch people? What are they
What
exactly?
are they?
What do you think they are?
They're an ancient being that is
Hmm.
interdimensional. They've learned how to be interdimensional. They have powers that the human mind cannot fathom. Okay,
Okay.
you cannot be. They are so out there. And this is where the other people that are experiencing the same thing have the same thing happening to them. Okay,
Okay.
one
Yeah.
guy in New York, talk to these guys every day. One guy over in Vancouver. So what we're doing, we all started speaking in Toronto at a convention for the Native people about healing, the Sasquatch healing powers. So we take all our stuff and we do a convention there. It's our third time. I'm going back this summer, right? To
Okay.
speak about this stuff. Yeah, it's for the Native people there have recognized that they used to be afraid of all this stuff. I think it was voodoo, all this stuff, right? They wouldn't talk about it, right? Through
Right.
time. They used to have reverence, but through time, they assimilated to our ways and, we're damaged, right? But now they're coming back. There's a resurgence, and this conference is bringing back the connection with spirituality of these beings and how they can heal you. And they do. Okay.
Yes, I've heard of this.
Yeah. Just look at
that
me.
I've heard of.
Just look at me. Just look at me. I'm happy, right? Like I'm old, right? But I'm not feeling old because they left me some tea. They gave me medicine gifts now for healing, and I'm taking those in one area and I'm going to spread them around, and it's for your lungs. Okay, think about that, eh? And that fog,
Yeah.
right? It's to heal your lungs. Now, why would they do that, right? Why would they do that? So I'm
Yeah.
taking all the stuff to Toronto, right? I pick it every day. I take the tea. It was left for me, and it's a simple tea that from a mullein plant that you find anywhere. But apparently in this area where one of their areas is, and after the flood, all these mullein plants came up, and they're really bizarre looking. They look like alien plants, right? And I thought, these are really cool looking plants. So I started taking pictures of them. And then lo and behold, they gifted me. They left me this and the cottonwood tree limbs, right? In a pot.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
This might seem like a frank question, and I don't mean it to come that way, but we've known each other for quite a while. Why do you think they decided to communicate with you in particular? Because of your general interest? Because you're open to it? Or what is it exactly?
That's it. It's a great question, and I've been battling with that one the whole time. Why me? Sometimes I think thought of it as a curse because they're going mad. And other people that get this kind of stuff, they question the same thing. They think they're going mad until I connected with other people. Like I was doing this alone, so were other people until we connected. Said, there's somebody else, right? Because
that
at
helps.
that time, So I'm just recording this. I'm thinking, like at that time, I was calling people in Toronto. I said, I need help. I need help recording this, and they thought it was nuts. Okay, but now they know, and now they're all on board, right? And they're speaking. So they're thinking, there's a field. Why was I picked? I have no idea, but I have an idea now. Okay, I just like climbing and working out, right? But I was praying with sage. Okay, I pick it because my family is indigenous. They're all native. Okay, I'm not, but I married. I married into the native. So I learned the protocols of the land, and I respect that. And so I prayed with tobacco every time. I wouldn't go in if I didn't do ceremony, right? And then I learned just for me. I love sage. I love. I just love it. It's
so interesting.
It's beautiful.
My girlfriend is indigenous as well. My girlfriend is indigenous Mayan. And
then she's Mayan?
She knows. Yeah, she's Mayan. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you're kidding me. Well, that's fantastic.
She's beautiful, wonderful. And they know so much stuff. Like it's still here. But it's slipping away. There's still towns where they all speak Mayan still.
Wow.
And she doesn't understand it. She knows a couple words, but she knows a lot of plants. She'll go out with her machete, go, oh, this here you can make a tea. Oh, this here you rub it on you if you cut yourself. And it's incredible the wealth of knowledge that we're just letting slip under our fingers from this, this crazy medical stuff that they allow to happen.
Exactly. And that's where we're going to. This is all going to change. And trust me that it's all going to change very slowly or quickly. Who knows, right? But it's all going to change and go back to this.
That's a good message.
What's the message?
That's a great
No, it
message.
is the message that's going to happen, and it's going to take place because we really did ourselves, and and it's obvious, right? It's not. I'm not going to talk about the politics, but you know what? I was never interested in politics, never watched it, but now I am. Right now, I'm interested because it's part of the change, right? And so to our planet, and if we don't, we're screwed. So if we don't, consciousness. Okay, why did they pick me? I have no idea, but we talk about that. Why us? Because each and every one of us as individuals gets the same messages. Sort of, there's parallels, there's similarities, right? In the entities that come in, this is daily. We show them every day to each other. Here's what we got. Here's what we got. You're just back and forth, and we're getting somewhat the same thing, but they're in different styles of the artists, the Sasquatch that are with.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Okay, the guy in New York is outside the Catskills. He's a very intelligent man, and he's an educator, and he's getting more. The Sasquatch there appear to him like they come to his back window at night, and they're taking over the house. They make images everywhere through the wood, through the concrete. They're just there, and the other fellow too. Now, my wife doesn't particularly like them in the house, so I don't have any. We make that known. We ask them not to, and they don't do that. I walk out the door and it's there. And even my property here, I don't want that. That's okay. I said you can come here. The rocks are in a certain place. They go there, right? Right. But then I walk out in nature. They're bombarding me there, like with.
Have you ever, when meeting the other two people, you said one is in Vancouver, so that's can't be too far from you.
No, it's 4 hours away, and we met the first time. And he's been into me. He was the first person I took up here and introduced to my area with the Sasquatch. And then
that's what I was going to ask you.
A lot of power happened that day. A lot of
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah, it's twofold. We went to another area up on the mountain there too, and it was just crazy. It was just crazy. Like I can't describe. It's a lot, right? That happened. The energy picked up. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So why were we picked? We don't know, but we do know. What we do know is that we're figuring it out. We're being picked because we're to be able to express this and share what we know to you. And you're like you're the same thing. That's why you're important. You're important because you share it on into a broader audience, right? So we get, all we know is we have to share this. That's the important message that we're receiving. And if we didn't, we would not be doing it. They would just shut us down. So now they're sending me, making movies. I'm making movies of the images they'll send me 10 images in a row. I make an animatic or an animation. That's all I'm doing. Short films. So this is daily and compounded, and the other people are getting compounded daily, just like me. So why were we picked? We have no idea, but we do have a commonality. We're all poor. Okay, we're poor. We're all creative. Okay, the one guy's a guitarist, the other guy's a drummer. I'm an artist. You figure that, you look at that, right? We all have quirks. We all have basically ADHD. There's these commonalities. We're all around the same age.
I would definitely say you have ADHD. I've noticed that.
Okay.
I have noticed that.
I'm really
definitely.
Sorry about that, but that's the way it is.
Don't be sorry. What are you sorry for, dude?
I
don't mean that, dude. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's something I noticed. I'm sorry.
No. That's what happened. That's part of the problem. So, and my solutions and living with it is I have to do extreme exercise. As soon as I do that sweat, right, I calm down. Right, I'm calming down, and that's the best. I've been on medication. I've been on Ritalin. I've been on, you name it, and it doesn't work. What works is balancing out your life, trying to. But I get really super excited.
I understand that completely. But don't you ever, Jim? We're friends, dude. Never do that again. That is a little upsetting. Please, dude. Sorry,
my humble
dude.
apologies.
I have anxiety and depression, dude. You think you know what I mean? I'm not. It's something that happens. People have it. Everyone has something. You know what I mean?
I don't notice that. I don't notice it. See, I think
have you had any type of say Sasquatch researcher who's been interested in what you've been doing and contacted you and wanted to come up to maybe investigate the area?
Oh yeah,
And
they've been doing that here for a while. There was a convention up here in our little town of Merritt, and yeah, there was last summer. They had with the indigenous people, and lo and behold, they didn't even know the Sasquatch was set up back in the hill. I didn't go because I don't agree with that style of thinking. Okay, that was Dr.
okay,
Meldrum was here. Dr. Meldrum was here.
okay,
Like yeah, all the big guys. They got paid much, and the Aboriginal who got this conference going was paying out money, right? And that's the way they come. I did not attend, no, because that's my little baby on that hill behind them. That's my friend, my baby,
yeah, your friend,
my
yeah, it's
people.
your friend.
I'm not going to expose that, nor did I want to go because the people I disagree with the not the anthropology of it. I don't disagree with that. I disagree with who they are as a race of beings. Who are they? They're interdimensional, beautiful family. They have families that they take care of. They take care of them in the best way possible, and the best way for their families in order to live this long. They are
Mhm.
thousands and thousands of years old. They are ancient beings. They've seen everything come because they've shown me that they were there. They've shown me the future that they were there. They've shown me through images that they were there, and those
Okay,
images are still there.
well,
Why us? I know why, because I prayed with the sage. Because every trip I did in the summer, I didn't know anything. I was just sweating and like purging, and I'd be praying for my health, my legs, gratitude, my health, my family, and sweat, and go up the mountain, and then Sasquatch, do some research on the way down. So I never knew. I was just picking sage, right? Because it's beautiful. And then I burn it. So
right. So they
one
probably
day,
seen you, right, dude.
yeah,
So they probably seen you, or
yeah,
and seen like, okay, this
it's
human
like weird.
is someone we can reach out
Yeah,
to. Someone
yeah,
he's picking sage, he's meditating, he's praying, he's
yeah,
exercising, he's in the forest. We can sense his intention, and
yeah,
that's why they started communicating. Okay, that makes a lot of sense actually.
exactly. I didn't know that until recently, when it all comes together, right, through the
It takes,
years.
yeah, it's a puzzle.
Yeah. And they are telling me about everything that's happening now. However, the images that they give me, like the helicopters, I'm getting the helicopters coming in. The helicopters, I've got a picture. You can see it. I posted it, and it's a helicopter that is disguised as a cloud. It's the second time. It's
I've
a
seen
black
that.
helicopter. Okay,
I've
now
seen that.
okay, this last summer, 6 months ago, they showed me when I was up high on the hills in my favorite spot. That cloud came and they made a cloud helicopter. And I'm looking at this thing and I took a picture of it. I said, and I
Yeah.
started laughing. I said, "That's the silliest cloud I've ever seen."
It is so
Right?
weird, guys.
It's a
For the
helicopter.
audience, Ken, if you get a chance, go over and check out Ken Zubrickas. Just go over and type his name into Facebook. There's a
Yeah,
picture.
Facebook.
It's a top of a mountain. It's a top of a mountain. There's not a cloud in the sky to be seen. And
Exactly.
right
That's
over the
one. Yeah,
very summit of the mountain, there's a very odd shaped cloud. I remember that. That was
yeah,
crazy, dude. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. In the clouds, there's a helicopter. Okay.
Yeah.
Black helicopter. So what is with that? There's another element at play, and somebody's making these images. If it's God, then I don't know. If it's God, I don't know that much. I don't know anything, right? But the thing is, there's things that are coming together. And is it alien? Yeah, it's alien because we don't know these things, right? Who could design something so massive as the stuff that's happening in the clouds and imagery and levels and levels of it? If you're not an advanced race or somebody that knows something. And then there's a government interplay. We don't know. They won't tell us. Disclosure, right? So,
Yeah.
so there's somebody else that's doing it, and now there's something else. And they have a lot of money to do this kind of imagery because that's all that was. That cloud and that helicopter are not real. They are not real.
It's
They're
something
there.
really strange. It's a strange picture,
Okay.
guys. Do you think?
Okay.
Do you think that because this phenomenon seems to be picking up? I don't know if it's
Yeah.
because
Forever. Yes.
of
Right.
the purview of the field that I'm in and the people I get to talk to, like yourself and others, or
Exactly.
is it maybe the global consciousness is like starting to become ready for this
Yes.
information?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And perfectly put. The great words. And that's it. Okay, no,
Okay.
see, needs to say that line
In the
is so you
podcast.
said it. Are we being prepared? Yes. Well, basically, that's it. You hit the nail. And so that's it. Are we being groomed, conditioned? Yes. Are we being groomed? Have I been groomed and conditioned?
We've
Yeah.
all
To
been groomed
share
and
this
conditioned.
knowledge to you, to share it with people that don't understand, but they're beginning to understand. And we're just the next chapter ahead. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Yeah.
information that we're used to. I say, don't worry about that. It freaks me out. Don't worry about it. It's going to be cool, right?
Yeah.
We
It's
know
a
this.
great way.
We know
It's
this.
a great way to put it, dude. It's like you're the dude on the front line who's getting the information, and you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Then you have the people who are watching the show or listening to it. And I'm the
Yeah.
intermediate. I know a little bit about it. I ask questions that I think a normal
Yeah.
person would ask if he's interested
Yeah.
or she's interested. And
Yes.
then this great conversation happens, and that's what the show is here for. Oh, dude, yeah,
Exactly.
dude, exactly.
The
I couldn't put it any better
narrative.
myself.
The narrative. They're building the stories. We're just sharing. They're just saying share. So, and that's what they're doing. They're pushing me to share. And sometimes they're pushing me too fast. I have to say, slow down. I can't do everything, right? So I'm making the movies that they're sending me. So the images are flooding in. And every night, every evening they come in. Every evening. Or, they're always there. But these images are like spiritual beyond. They're alien. A lot of the alien, but there's connections. You see, and they're actually constructing in the Coldwater Sasquatch group along the river here, and there's an also connection to gold, which is I'm just discovering that now. I'm researching gold. Not only to that, I need money, right? Right? I need something too. But I would share it if I got a lot. I'd just share it, right? But no, I've invested in some stuff, and I'm going to go down there and I trade with them because
there's a sluice box and a claim, dude.
No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I researched it a lot, and there's probably a program that I can get in an app, AI app that will find. I'll do all the hard work for me. Do I know what to look for? I'm learning what to look for. Is there gold here? Yes, there's gold here. And this was a street stuff. They say apparently there's gold. Nobody wants to do the work though, right? We're used to we're complacent, right, in our lives. So I thought, I'll do that, right, and I'll do well, because I asked them if it was okay. I asked and prayed about it, and I asked them 5 times, and they showed me arrows, and these are also images I have. They showed me where to go. I had
That's
heard
weird about the gold. That's weird about the gold. I've heard. I'm not saying this is connected, but the gold thing is very interesting because I've heard that there's like other entities from other planets that put us here to collect gold because it protects their atmosphere.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it. Because I have the spaceships are made out of some of this too, because they're translucent. Okay, out of gold. They're golden space. Because he showed me images. I got one posted. I'm not getting many views, but that's too bad, right? That's what happened. They send me the image, right? It's in space. It's a translucent ship. It's like you're looking. Think of the movie Contact. And where Jodie Foster at the end, she's in a translucent ship, right? It's she can see through it, and that comes from somewhere. Again, there's another story, another narrative right there.
That could be predictive programming. You know what I mean? Because that came out like the late 70s, early 80s, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like predictive programming. That's what it.
I
think it probably was.
Yeah, and all the movies were. Okay, like that well done. Okay. Because is the media the message? Yeah, the media is the message, right? And somebody coined that phrase. I worked in the film industry. The media is the message. So we're looking at this and we're being duped again, right? Or we've been told the future, right? Star Wars, the same thing. Because these ships, they look like that, like any the UFOs are, the saucer shape, and they are, right? Like, where does that come from? Somebody's consciousness or another place.
Yeah, because your consciousness, like what people don't realize, like they'll entertain the concept of the muse or your intuition or your what's another word I'm looking for, like your creativity. But what people don't realize about like things that now exist in the world, say a painting or the combustible engine, just something to throw out there. Those were concepts that didn't exist, that somebody pulled from basically a different reality and put it in 3D form in front of us.
Now,
That's
an excellent
mind
sentence.
blowing.
Keep that sentence. There it is. Exactly. A great sentence. You just spoke it. Okay, and that's exactly what I believe. But it took me like I was like, no, I was skeptical of all this stuff. No, you got to, I had to be taught, and now they're teaching me, and that's the role of these Sasquatch
Well,
beings
you
are
grew up in the
huge.
you grew up in the
Like,
Rockefeller school system, dude. You grew up in the
yeah,
Rockefeller school system.
yeah,
Ring a bell,
right,
sit in line, raise your hand.
yeah,
May I go
yeah,
to bathroom? Okay,
yeah,
you're tardy, you're this, you're that. Remember
yeah,
this, repeat it
yeah,
at this certain time. You grew up in the Rockefeller school system. They taught you
yeah,
what to think. They didn't tell you how you should be thinking. How you should be thinking
exactly.
is that you should be questioning everything and open. They don't
Yeah,
want that. What they want is obedient workers. That's all they want. They want you
exactly.
to go in debt and be an obedient worker. That's all they want.
Exactly. Perfect. Now, now there's this. Okay, that's fantastic. There's a guy from U.S. that he's an money guy. Okay, big. I can't remember his name, but he is teaching Americans. He's on YouTube. I'll get the name from him. He's an older gentleman who is working with large amounts of money, an investor or whatever, and he's doing a step-by-step, slow down version of. He's on YouTube now. I'll give you the name, but he does. Right now, he's got episodes of slowing down and telling the American public how things happened in a slow way so you understand what's going on, what's really happening to you. He's an investor or whatever, big banker dude, right? Who says I'm gonna break free and do YouTube and sacrifice, getting killed he could. But he's telling the public what they need to know about what's happening to you and your money, what to expect with the presidency and all that, what to expect, right? And what happened before that, okay? Timelines. And he's telling you the truth. Okay.
Okay.
He's a money guy, right? So, but he's also doing this for the people. Okay. Right.
Right.
You listen to him. I don't know his name, but he's on YouTube. Anyways, so what you said there, yeah. So I didn't. Why was I picked? Because because I'm interested in this kind of stuff, right? And I can do this because it interests me. And if I wasn't having fun, why would I do it, right? Like, why
Yes.
would it become my passion? I'm an artist. I'm not a researcher of Sasquatch,
Do you
but
get
I
paid for it?
became one. But
Do you actually survive making your artwork? Like
me,
financially?
I sell it. I do sell it. No, I don't survive, but I do sell, and sometimes I can survive for a year. Okay,
Wow. All right.
but it
I
depends
can get
how
back
much
to painting. Because
yeah,
I'm a painter
I'm
too.
painting now. Presently, I'm getting back into it. So,
Oh,
but
I
now
miss it.
it's influence. Now it's influence like this. These are now I'm going see all this influence. I'm going into space paintings. Right now I'm out in the universe. Right. So it came from Sasquatch to this to energy. It's about energy, free
Mm,
energy. Right. That's
yep.
environmentalist. I was just concerned about the plants and the trees and clean air, clean water. That's all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
grew up in an industrial town. It was
Yeah.
horrible, right?
Yeah. You
I,
have to
I
guys, go back and try to find any books before the 1920s and look up the word ether. Look it up.
ether, yeah,
Ether.
ether, yeah,
It got
yeah,
scraped clean. It's energy. It's a fluid. It's like all around us, and they don't want
yes.
you to know about it. So just go ahead and look
Oh,
back any books before like the
okay,
1910s, and you'll find
okay.
some interesting stuff too.
Yes, and this is what we're talking. This is where it's going. So I got an image. I'm ready to deliver it out in public, but it's very
Okay.
hard to. When I get an image from them at their area, the Sasquatch, they do magic things, and here's no exception. I have the image. I have to record it off the image, off the phone, right? Because the channels, like they're to get through the other platforms to get it to you or to get it on YouTube is difficult. Okay, because okay, I'm holding an image, okay, a picture of some plants because there were scratches in the ground at the Coldwater River. I figured a Sasquatch, stick because it was near a structure. Okay, it's in the sand and the dirt. I took a picture. I bring up the picture one day. Okay, I'm holding it, and guess what? What you're talking about came to life. Electricity, the plants. I'm looking at this thing, and it came to life. The image came to life. I recorded it, and thank God I did. The plants started twitching. Electrical charges started going from across the little scratch marks in the sand. Two plants started doing the heartbeat dance. They came alive in my hands, and I'm like this image came alive, and that's a Sasquatch. And I recorded it, and you'll see right there that there's hydro running through the plants. This is just the plants, some random plants, right? That they showed, and it's actual. So they became alive, and they started twitching, like to the rhythm, like the earth was a heartbeat, and that's how I felt when I was holding it. And I
Mhm.
thought, okay, I showed it to my friend, and the end, and it was witnessed, and I saved it. The image still on this phone that I'm talking to you is there, and it's twitching. It's live with electrical charges. Plants are moving to a heartbeat rhythm, like Mother Nature, right?
Yeah, I think it's eight something. Not BPMs. What am I thinking about? The resonant frequency is eight hertz, I think
Right,
it is.
right. Right. So I don't know, but it was on a heartbeat. The plants are, and I'll show it to you. I made a little, I got creative with everything, and I made a little, thing set to music because
Hmm.
I think it's better, more fun to learn like that. But I haven't. I'll put it out. I hope today. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So they've been showing me electrical charges, and also the branches. The branches are doing that. They make windows. They're showing me machinery that does tree bends. Like, I mean, it's really out there. Like one Facebook group just shot me down for that. Like, they don't post my stuff. I don't care. I'll post it somewhere else, right? But people are responding, saying, "Yeah, that's right. Tree bends. There's an organic spiritual machine." And they showed me now what they showed me 4. They showed me 5 that does the work that makes weird marks in the cement, or does the cleaning, or the how they get to do their, the structures that you see that are impossible, or that the Bigfoot do is that, trees top down way up
Yeah,
high.
like
There's
upside down with the root ball in the air in the
yeah,
middle of
all that.
nowhere. Yeah.
It's a machine. Okay, it's a spiritual machine that it's an entity that the Sasquatch uses. It's one tiny element of a certain function, and it does that for them. That's how
Oh,
these things
wow.
are made so fast. Okay, they're made
Okay.
at light speed, like warp speed, because they're super fast, right? But they do actually run them. The Sasquatch has so many machines. Another Sasquatch has so many machines, and they just at will they go pop. And this is what they show me. I go like, come on! I know it's out there, but that's what I've been shown. That's all.
Hmm.
That people are responding to this. They're getting it. So yeah, you can see it, right?
Do you think?
Because how else would they do it that quick? They're not.
Do
No,
you
it's
think
not a
this
real
message?
physical.
Do you think the message is going to spread, and people, like-minded individuals like yourself, are going to
Yeah.
start stepping forward and
Yes.
start to do, like you said? There's 3 of you guys are at the moment, but
There's
I'm
more of us.
sure
There's a
the
native
numbers
woman
have to be in the
troll who,
hundreds.
yeah, yeah, there's got to be way more people, that have it, right? We just, there's one, I'm not going to mention her name because I shouldn't, right? But,
Oh yeah, don't.
well, but I don't. But just somebody off YouTube that's very popular, and she's doing that, right? She's getting it out of Washington, below me here. So she's getting the same thing, and we talk about that. Okay, I'm
I
not
think I
gonna.
know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're
I
talking
think you
about.
do.
I'll
Yeah,
contact
lovely
her.
woman. Yeah. So, and there's other people. So the woman that invited us started this thing with the conferencing. She's an Ojibwa woman from Toronto. Okay, she contacted me, said, "I need you here." Right. So I spoke. Right. Right. And at that time, that's when all these pebbles were happening. Why they picked us, God knows. Right. God knows, because we don't know. But I tell you, there's something in us that there were really kind people. We're open-hearted people. We'll give you the shirt off our backs. That's what I know, right? And there's no question. Like yourself, you see somebody in trouble, you will save their life. You won't
Absolutely.
back off. You'll just be right in, right? And do it to a fault sometimes, like
Yeah.
giving to a fault, but it's not. Now that hard work's over. Our lives have been difficult. I mean, like, and now it's like it's a happier time. But we had the lessons are very difficult. At times, but you know
Yes.
what? I'm getting out of that, and I'm getting into the happy place, right, with it,
That's
and
awesome.
enlightened, right, by it. And it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
enlightenment
Right?
is a weird thing because you can't really tell people that you are, because that's the first step of not being.
Yeah. Well, it's enlightening. Let's say,
Yeah,
right?
right.
It's
It's a
energy.
weird thing. It's a weird
Yeah.
thing. You get to this
Yeah.
point where you can kind of see someone's intention. You can kind
Mhm.
of see if they're a good person, and they haven't even spoken yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can tell
Yeah,
that people.
by
Yeah,
feel, you look into their eyes, right? Like you,
yeah,
right? I see it in your eyes. I saw your pictures, like a beautiful family, right? And you can see it sparkling, right? So it's the inside, right? and you know who's
Yeah.
you get to know people, right? And now I'm getting to know nature and the Sasquatch. It's the same thing, right? They're teaching me. You're teaching my friends who are experiencing just in different ways. We have different lessons and we share with each other.
It
Okay.
makes me wonder, like, why?
Yeah.
Because this part of the world, as far as I know, doesn't really have them. Like that.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Absolutely, you do. You
Okay.
just don't know. Yeah, you do. Okay. Now think about ancient races and how our Earth has changed and civilizations before. Where there was water, there is none now. So the environment's changed that much. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Lithuania has it. Lithuania has forests. They have it. Belarus has them. Russia has them. Australia has them.
Oh, I
Right?
know all that.
All up and
I
down
just haven't.
Argentina.
There's just not.
Mexico
I,
is one of the hot spots, like down south Arizona, and all that because of the minerals, yeah? What they have, right? What the
ah
spirituality. Okay,
ah.
this is getting into Europe, Mayan and Peru. Yes, they are. Peru has them. I don't know what they're named, but they just discovered recently, right? Okay,
Uh huh.
it's a global thing. These things are celestial beings too. Yeah,
Right.
right.
So
So
maybe
the
a bit
they
of an
come
idea
from,
that I'm working on. It just kind of sparked in my brain. Maybe you can help me flush it out. It's like maybe our form of proof, like whether it be video or photo evidence, is just not what it's about. Maybe it's something like the evidence
yes.
is more along the line of like a consciousness change, and then it kind of steps forward into your existence. Something of that nature. You know what I mean? Where
And
like,
that's the third line. Beautiful, right? Just beautiful narrative, right? You could
thank
write
you.
that down. Oh, it's recorded now. I should write
Yeah,
it down because
I'm not.
keep that
I'm
because
a poet and didn't know it.
what?
I don't know. I'm
Well,
just thinking
see, I know it
because we call it
because
empirical evidence. You know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
scientific based
it doesn't
empirical
matter.
evidence, and
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
it has
Yeah,
its merits in certain things. But I think when it comes,
yeah,
if these things are interdimensional beings,
yeah.
how would empirical evidence
So
work? You know what I mean?
it doesn't. It doesn't
That's what I'm
because
trying
we
to
have
get to.
no concept. Cigarette. We have no concept of what how to perceive it. We don't have that concept. We would have to be advanced in order to perceive that concept. So we don't. We're
Oh,
way back down there. We're way back down there, right? So how could we scale that scientifically? We can't, and that's what the new future is. It says we're shifting into a better place where we can understand more. All these things are old rules, right?
right. I'm
They're
thinking when I
new
name this
rules
one
out there.
I'm thinking when I name the episode that one. The reason empirical evidence doesn't work when it comes to like Sasquatch because we are not we are not as a I would say as a collective. There are certain individuals like yourself and others who are able to do this because you said picked for whatever reason, but like the collective consciousness is just simply not. It's the hive mind, it's the here and now, it's the
Yeah,
electric, it's the silicon based
yeah,
economy and fossil fuel based economy, and
yeah,
the hive mind
yeah,
is
yeah,
not ready to take a step back in order to take a step
yeah.
forward.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I
So we
mean?
will
Something like that.
continue to do. Yeah, we will continue to do that to our fault, and that's what this gentleman is saying on the YouTube. This investor, with he's breaking free from that, and he's
Not all of
consciously
us.
shifting.
Not
He's
all of us.
breaking free from that.
I think a lot of people run it. I think you kind of hinted on in a couple of earlier episodes. You've had some issues in your life where some type
Yeah,
of abuse. One time, me, I've read. You get to this point, and there's only like you have a deeper understanding of
yeah,
this, whatever this is, this reality, this existence.
yeah,
You don't say you know all of it, but you do know there's something way more than this materialistic getting into debt
yeah,
concept that we all thought was the real thing. Because
yeah,
in Germany, I wasn't rich, but I was definitely well off enough to think that is where happiness was supposed to be. And it wasn't.
yeah. No.
It's not there.
No.
Like once you have the money, then you don't feel happy. Then what do? You have to
Has
go
nothing to do
within.
with it.
You
Yeah.
have to go within. So you could do that now, though. If to know it now, well, you know what I'm saying? Everyone could do to change the world. All you have to do is change this. And if everyone did that, that's easy.
Yeah.
It's
way you look
easy,
at
but
you.
it's also super hard.
It is super hard because you're taking a look at yourself, your soul, and everything that you've been conditioned, and it's difficult. And when these images come in, I'm crying, right? Because these are old things that have been taught that you should be ashamed of. There's no shame if we've been taught that fear, and that's all the passing through this through the years. And now I'm getting to a place where
Yes, we've been conditioned to be fearful. We've been conditioned to be fearful.
Yeah, this is an amazing world. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. But we're not on board with the whole planetary thing. We're not human beings. We are people with faults and depressions and shame, right? We're shameful, right? And we feel that shame. But in the human race, like in another civilization, or we can become who we used to be in an older civilization, right? And
maybe an acceptance of the fact that like I think you become better off and happier when you have an acceptance and knowing that you are faulted and wear that as your armor. This is who I am. I'm a faulted human being, but that's what makes me who I am. And when people realize that, they're going to be much happier, and you're going to see yourself in everybody else, and they see themselves in you.
Acceptance. Wow, you're constantly ridiculed, right? You're bullied. All of us have been, right? There's commonalities, say, but most of us we're grown up with to be shameful. Shame. You're ashamed of this act that you did, your sexuality of your whoever you were.
Whatever, right.
Mine was a lazy eye. So what? So what? Like sometimes it's lazy, sometimes it's not. But you always ridicule, bullied.
He's on vacation.
I have control over that, right? But you know what? You judged me, right? You judge people like that. Cripples were mentally retarded. They call it retards, right? Mentally handicapped individuals were called retarded people, and you were scorned. You were bigoted upon. My family did that, right? They're DPs from the war. They bigoted everybody. They bigoted each other. They bigoted, Native people. Now you don't go.
Well, the wording thing that I'm a comic, so the wording thing is a function of time. Before that, they used to call you imbeciles, and then before that, there was another word. And they go, you can't say that. You have to say the R word now. Well, you can't say this word. It's now handicapped, or you're on the spectrum. In 20 years, you won't be able to say that either. It's just a function of time when people don't like the word anymore. Someone gets a hair up their butt and go, I don't like that word anymore. But it kind of hides the reality of certain things too. You would never go to a handicapped person to say the R word. You wouldn't say that to them. And if you are, then you are a piece of crap. But like your friend, who works construction with you, who graduated high school, went to college or whatever you did, and then falls down and hits himself in the head with a hammer accidentally, you might say that to him in a funny way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's our fault. That's accepting our faults. It's part of it.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with that.
But okay, so consensus.
We'll push back,
okay, so sociology, right? So we all agree on one point on the masses but our economic ways right now we're doomed, right? We're in trouble. Everybody's in trouble. You're come on. You want Canada? Yeah, have it. There's borders now. The Sasquatch always do. There's this thing about fences that they have. They really don't like fences, any kind of border, any kind of blockade. They make it a point to put their images all crawling or slipping underneath fences. And I know that the fact that's a metaphor for no more boundaries, no more fences, no more fences, one world, right? So we can become human beings instead of people. Good. We forgot how to be human beings, right? So that's what we forgot. You know this, right? You know that.
Yeah, I do. I do. There's other things involved. I have different ideas about certain things, but it's okay to express ideas and have a different point of view than mine. That's completely fine with me. And I think that's also lost. Like they don't want you to communicate to the people next to you because of their ideas
Mhm.
or the way they seem their life. They don't want you to do that. They want you to think this person with pink hair is different than the guy down the street with a shotgun on his
Right,
wall.
right.
And
Yeah,
they don't
yeah,
want you not to talk to each other, because if they exclude and keep people separated on their ideas, then
sure.
they have control. They try to control us in
Yeah.
every aspect:
Um,
race, religion, ethnic
control. Yeah,
background,
yeah,
your
yeah,
financial backgrounds, caste systems,
yeah, yeah.
ideological beliefs, religious beliefs, political
Yeah.
beliefs, all those things to separate us. And remember that, guys, through and through, that's what it's all. It's the game. Don't play it. Don't play it.
Right, exactly. And, okay, and I'll really pass on this YouTube person, and you'll see who you're probably watching him already. But he's really good, and he explains it to the people that don't understand. If you know, it's all about knowledge too. If we don't seek something, we become complacent. Then we
Mhm.
become narcissistic or whatever. Right? Complacency breeds trouble or
Narcissism,
negativity.
yes.
So,
Yes.
okay,
And
yes. And
yeah.
so what's interesting to you? You know, like anything, you know, it's all
Oh,
you're looking at stuff. What's
I
interesting
love
to you?
I love anything that's just out of the ordinary, man. That's why the show
Yeah,
exists.
sure.
That, because I found, a lot more. I find them a lot better. Like, for example, with people like yourself, gentlemen like yourself, I have much more in common with somebody who is telling me that they're having these experiences that I believe they're as far out there as, because I haven't had them doesn't mean I don't believe them.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I have
yeah,
much more in common with somebody like you, instead of a person who only thinks, breathes in sports and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't.
I
I like
know.
my sports, but
I,
that's not everything
yeah,
about me.
yeah.
That's not even
Okay.
close.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
was a sports guy. I was a sports guy. You know why I became a sports guy? Because I was bullied, and I had it finished with the bullying. Right. So one day somebody called me down. I changed my whole life. I became a sports guy. I rode. I played basketball. I did everything. Right. And to as much as I could, I changed my whole life because of a bully. Right. And then I
Right.
still, but now it's more. It's health, but it's more about healing. And now,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
getting some oxygen.
To quiet
You
the
know?
to quiet the mind, we have to exercise the body, because
Yeah,
it's connected. It's connected. I do the
yeah,
same thing. I'm having a bad day. I'll go pick up the basketball, go down to the local court, and play against
yeah,
17-year-olds. I just turned 45, and I'm
yeah,
tall.
yeah, yeah.
The Mayan
Oh
people
yeah,
here are not so tall.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
play tall people. Yeah,
Get me down on the post. Get me down on the post.
yeah,
I'll show you your
yeah,
two.
yeah. I love it. Yeah, I know a group that are 70 some odd and up, and they play with the young people. I was in the pickup ball. I
Yeah.
don't give up. I wish I could play harder.
Oh,
You know, like yeah, it's a
I
great
might
thing.
cherry pick, a little bit, once in a while, because
Yeah,
I'm old. But
yeah, yeah,
if it's down there and we're in a half court set and we're running picks and stuff like that, I'm
yeah.
with you. But you
I
start
can
running
see
that
you do.
full
I
court
can see
press.
you doing it. Yeah, I can see you doing that. Yeah. So yeah, there we are, right? But sports, it's a different kind of sports now. Instead, I'm working out with a rock. I pump up daily with this big rock, and the Sasquatch are embedding it with all these engravings, and they're cheering me. Yeah, my workout rock. Where is that guy? But
This
but
is
but my
this has
workout
been
rock is
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Go, please.
That's the rock that they gave me, right? One of the rocks. It's just happened, and I turned it into a workout rock because it's heavy enough that I can use it like a dumbbell, right? So that's what I work out with, right? And they just cheer me on it. They put more and more symbols, more and more ancient symbols, teach me on it, whatever, like they embed it with stuff, right? Like messaging and all kinds of stuff, right? Yes, believe it or not, but it does happen, and right
This
out
be-
of thin air.
this is one of my favorite pods, man. And I'll tell you why. Because, like, we got to talk. Like, I got to know you a little bit more. Because
Thanks.
you had you had so much information that you just, like, I got to tell you, I got to tell you. And, like, I'm starting to put a little bit of things together and get people to know you as well, because I think if people know who you are, that your information will be much, much more easily digested, if you know what I mean.
Crazy.
And it comes
I
natural
do,
to
and
me to,
I'm
right.
yeah. I'll probably eventually slow down to a nice, state,
Yeah,
because I love being in that state, and in the city it's very difficult for me, and because I have emotional responses to the people around me, my family. I care so much to a fault that I cannot be like that. I got to kind of isolate, and being in the bush is heaven now, and it slows me down.
yeah.
So I'll
It's my
probably
favorite thing
get
in the world
to,
is to be in the forest, to be just in the forest by myself, just sit down beside a tree and stay there for an hour, listen to the
Mhm,
leaves, listen to the birds, listen to the wind, watch
mhm,
shit
mhm.
swaying around me. I enjoy that all ever so much. Just like I enjoyed this conversation with you today, my friend. Thank you
Yeah,
once
it was
again for
brilliant. Brilliant.
gracing me with your presence.
Yeah.
This was great.
Thank you so much. It's awesome. It's a blessing.
So I'm going to share your Facebook page. Is that okay?
Sure, please do.
Because
Yeah.
I haven't asked you
Oh,
what to
okay.
share because I didn't know which project you're working on.
Just under Gin Zubrickas. So if you have me, GinZubrickas, Gin Zubrickas on Facebook. Friend me, and I'll friend you back. Right,
And
and
for right. And for all the
okay.
Americans out there, it's Zubrickas.
ZUB, not C.
Z. Yeah.
ZUB.
Yeah.
ZUB, Oliver
Spanish
Broken.
is zeta.
ZUB. Well, wait a
Y Z.
second. We're going to be America too, right? Canada, right? The 51st state.
The
Yeah.
51st.
I'll see you.
We're,
See you,
we'll, we'll say, wow, that would be the biggest state ever, but whatever. I guess Mexico too, 52nd. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
We'll see
yeah.
what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll
Okay, man.
do it together.
Yeah, we'll do it together, man. All right, again, it's good
Peace,
seeing you, buddy.
peace.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Blessings, eh? Take
Okay,
care.
buddy. Take
Peace.
care. Please. Getting some breakfast, man. That was a really funny conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you find yourself coming back to the iJupiter podcast, please do me a favor. I hope I earned your subscription today. If you're watching to the very end, you are with me or with us, with the whole group. We have a Facebook page. You can go over there and talk. We have wonderful people over there. It's a really cool open group. And, you can go over there and find all my newest videos, or you can go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel as well. And you can get all my newest videos. If you want to become a member, all you have to do is just sign up. You can get some of these conversations earlier. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, we are the eye. We are aware. Love you all.